everybody, and welcome to the Mind of Marlin and another Treetop Talk here at the Sweet Spot. The ducks are fed, the chickens are fed, and now it's time to feed your head. I listen to the news. You could call me a news junkie. When I go into withdrawal, I start rerunning in my head the news I heard the day before, which is not news anymore, but olds. News gets old fast. It gets old as soon as there's more news. Some people only consume olds because they can't handle the news. I have titanium nerves and a spine of steel to be on top of the news because it's all over the place. Like an octopus dipped in canola oil, I can't contain it, and it comes at me from all directions. I've learned so much in the news that it gets me thinking or agitated or activated. Today we're seeing a new kind of organization among citizens and immigrants, legal or not, and people in the news are saying the left is taking a page from the Tea Party. Because you may have noticed the right rarely is. But I want to be more than crystal clear because crystal shatters and our new activism needs its own name. The Coffee Party is spot on because tea is from China and coffee is grown in the Americas. Tea is for sissies, and coffee is called Joe, like a real American, and like a real American president. Coffee is strong, and not only is it black, something the Tea Party didn't have much representation from, it wakes you the fuck up. Yes, all over the country, people are doing what we tell people to do. Wake up and smell the coffee. Now we can say, wake up and hear the Coffee Party. The Tea Party, which transmogrified into the GOP, is a bunch of spineless whiners because they are a party of exclusion. It takes a pair of balls and pussy power to include everybody at the Coffee Party because it means having to face the fear of the other, the unknown, which of course means eating strange food that is sure to be brought when people from another culture shows up at a party's potluck. Something I hope that comes back after COVID. The Tea Party are insulated in a bubble of their own making, but the Coffee Party is a bubble of all humanity, the planet, and the skin of that bubble is the atmosphere that is keeping us alive. The Coffee Party is trying to protect the planet, while the GOP, well, let's just shorten that out to Go Pee Party, can see no further than to protect their jobs and show fealty to their base's leader. The Trump Party, well, let's just shorten that to Tea Party. What's the difference? Hasn't gotten the news that it isn't immigrants or third world nations that are taking their jobs, but robots. The world thrives on slave labor. All of the great civilizations were built on slave labor. The pyramids of Egypt, the Great Wall of China, the Roman Empire, and yes, even America at one time was built on slave labor. Some people never wanted to give up their slaves and fought to the death to keep them. But now we have robots, and they are perfect slaves. They don't need feeding, housing, clothing, civil rights, pensions, medical leave, counseling, paid vacation, any vacation, lunch breaks, bathroom breaks, workman's compensation, payroll withholding, or 1099s. Robots are perfect. Except when that mentality enters into a mindless human who has forgotten what critical thinking is or how to use it. It starts early, as this definition of critical thinking shows. Critical thinking, the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment. And using it in a sentence, professors often find it difficult to encourage critical thinking amongst their students. I believe the new Coffee Party is a party of critical thinkers who just never thought a con job like Trump could fool enough of the people some of the time to take the White House. Trump was the candidate of the Tea Party. And like the failed airlines, vodka, steaks, buildings, Trump had to put his name on it. And now make it into the Tino Party, Trump in name only. He must have been thinking Tea Party, and the initials are TP. And we all know what we do with TP. Trump is thinking somebody's ass is going to get wiped and it won't be mine. And though some of you may think somebody slipped something into the tea at the party, I would point out that if somebody really slipped something into the tea at the party, They would have had revelations about their lives, the cosmos, and would have made a left turn. Maybe somebody slipped something else in the tea, and that's why people saw lightning and UFOs and thought Jews and spaceships, because, what, it looks like those little hats they wear. Now, it turns out there really is a coffee party. Who knew? And they take a civility pledge. As a member or supporter of the coffee party, I pledge to conduct myself in a way that is civil, honest, and respectful towards people with whom I disagree. I value people from different cultures. I value people with different ideas. I value and cherish the democratic process. Now, Obama would have been a candidate for the coffee party, and so too Biden. Although with Biden, he may need to start the decaf coffee party. Biden came from humble beginnings and worked his way up the ladder, with being elected to the Senate at age 30, the youngest until Jon Ossoff. The Tea Party guy, Trump, was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. The hardship that it was silver and not gold does not go unnoticed. Trump went to a military school, had multiple bankruptcy, the true test of a successful businessman, thousands of lawsuits filed against him, a sign of how much people love him, and became a reality TV star by a fluke, which by chance also happens to be a parasite. How appropriate. He is a cartoon tycoon that people in the Tea Party can understand because he wasn't a critical thinker. He just gave the impression that he was. And they always felt that he was talking to them when he said, "You're fired," because many of them already had been. And as the impeachment, the sequel, coming to a video screen near you, there is talk about how can they hold a trial and pass COVID legislation? And over, I hear they can walk and chew gum at the same time. Who the fuck can't walk and chew gum at the same time? But are they able to sit and chew gum? Are they able to think and chew gum? Can they talk and chew gum? Can they blow and walk at the same time? Would that be called a blow and go? These things we don't know because all they can tell us is they can walk and chew gum. And what about something that is supposed to pass the smell test? What in good gravy and Jeepers Crow is a smell test? Breonna Taylor from CNN, when speaking about Sean Hannity, who all of a sudden did not know what QAnon is, said it doesn't pass the smell test. What would Sean Hannity have to smell like to pass that test? Like this? Which, by the way, I think looks like chocolate soft serve ice cream. How about this? How about this? And if it doesn't pass the smell test, I sure am shit. I'm not going to put it in my mouth to see if it passes the taste test. But let's put it to the test and then testify. Trump, though he will have gotten the biggest ratings of his lifetime, will not testify. His lawyers had to get a team of horses to hold him back. Why do I want him to testify? Because the GOP impeached Clinton because he committed perjury by lying under oath about oral sex. Obviously, someone knew how to kneel and blow at the same time. Trump will perjure himself as sure as Rush Limbaugh takes oxycodone, and that is what we all want to see. Because we've already seen him lie on TV, lie on tweets, lie in ads, lie live. But we all want to see him lie under oath. And in that moment, he stands up and does his best Jack Nicholson and yells, "You want answers?" And Lady Liberty yells back and says, "I think I'm entitled to them." And Trump says, "You want answers?" And the country says, "I want the truth." And Trump says, "The truth? You can't handle the truth." And then goes on to say, "I don't give a damn what you think you're entitled to." Well, we all know what happens because the movie was called A Few Good Men. And Jack Nicholson's Colonel Jessup, like Trump's Trump, are not included in that group. Trump in reality isn't as good as Nicholson in fiction because even a G.I. Joe like Jack knows which side of the cup holds the coffee. The Trump administration may go down in history as a few good men and a whole lot of slime buckets filled with even more sleazeballs. Or is it sleazeballs and slime buckets? Anyways, after 4 years of conning some of the people all the time, most of the people, most of the time came to learn that you can never make a silk purse out of a scum bag. And on that note, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe. Wear your mask. We're going to lick this thing. Wash your hands. Be kind to everybody, including yourself. And we'll see you next time. Aloha.